Let there be beer. That is the clear message from the world's highest football authority, FIFA, to the host of the 2014 World Cup, Brazil. Beer has been banned in football stadiums here since 2003, an attempt to reduce violence between rival clubs. But FIFA's Secretary General Jerome Valk was adamant.
It's part of the FIFA World Cup. So there will be, I'm sorry to say, and maybe I look a bit arrogant, but that's something we'll not negotiate. I mean, there will be, and there must be, as part of the law, the fact that we have the right to sell beer.
He spoke to reporters in Rio de Janeiro after touring stadiums across the country with former football star Ronaldo and Brazil's sports minister Aldo Rebelo. The minister has repeatedly said Brazil would meet its commitments, but he needs Congress to come through for him.
The government sent them a general law based on its 12 commitments.
Brazil is also battling FIFA to offer cheap tickets for senior citizens, students, and indigenous groups. During his visit, Valk repeated FIFA's concerns that Brazil simply isn't working fast enough on stadiums, roads, and airports. In fact, he said the stadium in the northern city of Natal was officially behind schedule and suggested Brazil might have fewer than its proposed 12 stadiums, but they would soldier on.
It's well known that to organize a World Cup, we can organize a World Cup with 8 stadiums.
Security is another challenge. In Rio de Janeiro, police have stormed dozens of shantytowns to eliminate violent drug lords ahead of the event. But many more are still controlled by rival gangs.
Meanwhile, Brazil needs to modernize its roads and privatize its shockingly overcrowded airports, while plans for a high-speed train from Sao Paulo to Rio de Janeiro haven't even left the drawing board. Shasta Darlington, CNN, Sao Paulo.
So we're here in the WAMDA booth with Alex Tusit of Monetizer.com, a digital content company that helps digital content companies enter the Middle East market. Alex used to work for Trevian, so we're going to chat a bit about gaming sectors today. Alex, how are you?
I'm very fine. I'm glad to be here on ArabNet. It's an amazing place. It's just exciting to see all these people here on board, and I'm very happy here.
Excellent. So let's talk about how, when Trevian entered the region in 2007, how did they decide to do that? What was their strategy?
Actually, they didn't have a real strategy to enter the market. The game is out there in 40 languages, and all of a sudden there are some guys from Egypt requesting an Arabic version. And doing an Arabic version per se for an online game, due to the specialties of Arabic content going from right to left instead of left to right writing, it's not per default so easy. So these guys were requesting the version and they said, okay, we do it. And all of a sudden, once they have created Arabic content, there were 1 million players in 3 months. Amazing stuff.
It's huge. Based on Trevian's success, how do extra regional gaming companies now see the region, and what is their strategy moving forward?
Ever since 2007, basically for 2 consecutive years, there was not really competition for Trevian. And then a couple of companies, they found their ways in. It's tough to find your way in as a foreign company. Simply, well, you can buy the traffic, but you have to provide an Arabic version of your product. Otherwise, you will not be succeeding. You have to have some partners, because all the gaming business is very much related to revenue shares, partnership. The region is not per se made for partnership. They rather keep everything for themselves. But everybody's pushing, from Europe, from Asia, from the US. Everybody wants in the region, and the potential is huge. Last year there were the biggest on TechCrunch, on all the big magazines, online, on gaming. They all said there is something to get in the Middle East.
So why were these games so popular? Why was there no competition? Is it just because the sector was so young? Or was it something specific about the games?
The sector is still pretty young. I would say it's not even 10 years old. The first browser game I have to say, browser game, which is a multiplayer. It's very important. The success of all these games, it's multiplayer, it's community-based, it's about interaction and competition. And if you play for yourself, it's no fun. If you play against others, it's real fun. So this is what they really like, the users. This is the success.
Do you advise companies entering the region to go straight towards social gaming?
Yes, definitely. But only go straight to the social gaming, because there's a lower amount of competition actually in the games itself. Only come here if you want to bring Arabic content. All the rest, you touch the surface, it's like a big iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg, but all the revenues below there, you can only gain them if you bring Arabic content. It's very important.
But it's not necessarily about localizing the content of the game. I guess Travian did not localize the topics, the focus. It was just about the language.
It's definitely, you can do it, but Travian did not, simply because of the internationalization strategy that they were following in. So you cannot create the same tribes or different tribes for each country. So people are suggesting it to me and do this, do that, but this company, they cannot manage, because it's one game, 45 languages, 160 million registered users. Don't change it for individuals. But if you only approach the Arabic market, yes, why not? Make it a little more Arabic than you would ever expect, and get some insight from the people. Go there, go to Saudi Arabia. It's an interesting market, it's an interesting surrounding, and see what the people are doing. And they need entertainment. They have nothing to do. They cannot go to the cinemas. There are no cinemas in Saudi Arabia.
That's true. Talk to me about, just in the future, you're looking down the pipeline, looking at mobile gaming, social gaming, massive multiplayer online games. What's exciting to you? What do you think we're going to see in the next year? What would you like to see in the next year?
Well, it's not about me, what I would like. What is obviously coming is the free-to-play model or the freemium model for mobile games. I mean, mobile games is such a hype. The platforms are available. The platforms have very high rates of processing power. You can have great games on there. Everything will be multiplayer and ubiquitous. I mean, everywhere you go, you wait for the bus, you play a game. So it's so amazing, and the free-to-play model is just the best model that you can have for the gaming, because you only pay if you want to pay. It's amazing.
Well, Alex, thanks for chatting with us at WAMDA.
You're more than welcome.
Welcome, I'm Bob Norton, founder and creator of Airtight Management, and this is training to create world-class companies and world-class teams. If you take these courses and learn to use most of these with some experience, you'll probably know more about business than 80% of CEOs out there. This is a lot of material. That's going to be at least 100 20-minute videos. So plan your career and your path around that as you see fit. This video is a level 301 video, and it's really about implementing dashboards, which is something that a very senior manager should do, not a new manager. You'll find out how many skills are required to do this properly, because you need people skills, you need technical skills, you need broad business understanding, and we're going to give you a checklist to manage the risk, because implementing change in an organization requires not just management and planning, but also leadership, mathematics, and other things, understanding of psychology of people to do this right. Most big IT implementations fail because the people that implement them are lacking in the planning, psychology, management, and leadership skills necessary to make the organization adapt to the change. So remember that this is actually part of System 3 of Airtight Management, which is a holistic, complete system that helps companies become a high-performance company. If you do all 6 of these things well, you'll probably be in the top few % of companies in the world, because most companies don't even do 2 of these reasonably well, even a lot of very mature older companies that have had years and years to develop their internal systems. So today, in this segment, we're going to talk about the overview of the dashboard creation process, and there'll be other segments that dive into the details of each of these. This is not for the faint of heart. Implementing this is best done by a professional expert consultant, and I know I have a conflict of interest in recommending that because my company does that, but it's true nonetheless. It's a fact, and you'll understand how many skills are required to get this done right as we go through it. So we've divided the process into these 4 steps. Typically, someone is going to feel a pain or identify a need. They're going to need to allocate a budget and time to implement something, and then to research and plan out that, and probably select a vendor that's going to help them. A lot of people make the mistake of focusing on a software selection, and the real magic should happen in the business process and the business drivers, not the software. As a matter of fact, we recommend every company implement their dashboards initially only using spreadsheets or very simple things, so that the IT process doesn't get in the way and doesn't require a lot of changes, and then you can implement the automation of that in IT later. The second stage is the discovery phase, and these stages 2, 3, and 4 are the classic consulting engagement. If you're hiring a consultant, by definition, you don't know what the solution is and probably don't understand the problem fully, or you would have hired a contractor that had a known skill set which you could manage. So you've got to give the consultant time to poke around, figure out what the issues are, make sure you're getting at the root problem, not just symptoms of the root problem, and present a plan after discovering all of the issues involved. The design phase is when you're actually making the details of that plan. It should have a timeline and costs and who's got to be involved and all those types of things. Doesn't have to be a complex plan, a couple pages saying here's what we'll do each week. We'll give you a sample of one of those a little later. And then an implementation plan, which is starting to get the corporation to adopt what has been designed. So this small series of videos is going to cover all this. First with an overview, and then we'll drill down to each of these implementation or discovery and design phases in more detail.